Hey guys, I'm Colette,
Hi, and I'm Kevin.
and this is Cygnet. This is our home on the water. We're fairly new to YouTube and wanted to give everybody a tour of our boat and what it looks like inside. We've been here 6.5 years and done some things over the years, and we still get people asking us all about the boat, what it's like living aboard, so we wanted to show you.
Yeah, we're going to show you everything from the Flybridge down to the engine room. So you're going to get a good tour of what our boat is like inside.
So let's go check it out. So we're going to start the tour in the aft deck, so come on inside. So this is the aft deck. We spend a lot of time out here when the weather is nice. It's nice and cozy. We call it our three-season porch out here. When we first moved in, it came with some furniture that was hideously 80s ugly, so we immediately got rid of that. We got some nice teak chairs and couch. This here is actually a table slash cooler, so multi-purpose is always great on a boat. This table here came with the boat. It's a fabulous teak table, so we didn't want to get rid of that. That was one thing we kept. We had a great woodworker come and update this cabinet. This cabinet was always here, but it had some laminate doors that kind of opened like this. We wanted to match everything, make it nice teak, and last a long time, so we turned it into a bar, because every boat has to have a bar, slash like safety center here. And then also this space down here was just open, so it was hard to really use. So we had this cabinet made, and it became a great shoe storage locker, and then we have other things in here too for cleaning the boat and such. So yeah, it's a great space. We love hanging out here. It's even warm. It's cooler outside today, but it stays nice and warm here with the solar gain. So that is the aft deck, and now let's go up to the helm. Kevin's going to show you what that's all about.
So welcome to the Flybridge. It's a little messy up here right now because we are prepping for winter, so we have a lot of things that we store up here during winter. We also have, as you can see, we have things covered. I've uncovered the helm so you can at least see kind of what it looks like. This is where we drive from. Pretty standard boat stuff. We used to have a lower helm, and we never drove from down there because you just can't see. So up here we have really good visibility. We can see all the way around. In fact, a few years ago, we actually had all of this redone, all of this canvas. It wasn't cheap, but it was well worth it. What was here before was really cracking and kind of breaking up. It could probably use a little bit of a cleaning right now, but anyway, it looks a lot better than the old stuff. One of the other things we did up here is we replaced this carpeting. The carpeting that came with the boat was kind of grayish, old, kind of 80s, looked like a commercial style carpeting. We just never really liked it. So we went to a carpet store and we thought, okay, we're smart. We'll go and we'll get something that's going to be UV resistant and workable outside, and talk to them. They cut everything custom for us. Unfortunately, it's not holding up very well. This stuff is only 3 or 4 years old now, and it's pretty much disintegrating in the sun. So it looks like we're gonna have another carpet redo in another maybe year or so, and get something that's actually meant to be on a boat. So now we're gonna take a look inside and show you our main living space.
So this is our salon, as it's called in boat terminology, aka a living room. This was one of the first big projects that we tackled when we bought the boat, actually before we even moved on the boat, I think. It was very, very 80s, very worn. There was gray carpeting. Actually, there's some of the carpeting behind me that we haven't gotten rid of. A lot of times when we have people over and we're out on the water, people's feet are wet, so it kind of soaks that up before they get in here. It soaks up any dirt, things like that. So maybe not the prettiest, but it's very functional. But yeah, we redid the floors. We put 3/4 inch teak wood down here. We love it. It's one thing that people say when they come in here, like, oh wow, I feel like I'm in an apartment, not just a boat. Redid all of the furniture in here. One thing that you really have to pay attention to, as I mentioned on the aft deck, is multifunctional pieces of furniture so that you can store more stuff, because we don't have as much space here as we would in a normal apartment or house. So like, for instance, this ottoman serves also as a coat closet. We have gloves and hats and scarves and everything in here too. It fits a ton of stuff. And then also works as an ottoman. Sometimes we use it as an extra seat moved over here when we have people over. The couch as well was the one that was here before, was a pull-out couch, so it was a sleeper sofa. And at first we were a little nervous about getting rid of that, thinking, oh, maybe we're gonna want to have that sleeping area for friends. But we ended up finding a couch that would fit in here, that is actually really comfortable to just sleep on as is. It's a pretty long couch. One of the things that we had to factor in when we were looking for furniture was the size of this door. It is not very wide, so we had to figure out what furniture we could actually get through that door. So we couldn't just pick any couch. And plus, on the boat, we have to make sure it fits exactly in the space that we want. So, and then just some chairs and a lounge chair here. This also comes apart into two pieces, so that's how we got it through that door. So we really like what we did here, and it really made it our own when we moved onto the boat. Didn't feel like we were in someone else's space, and also just having that refresh was great, and not 80s furniture. Another thing that we did was we updated the entertainment system, and I'm going to let Kevin explain a little more about that project.
All right, so this is something that I really wanted to do when we got the boat. Originally, there was a whole like Kenwood rack-mounted stereo system here, and it just wasn't up to modern technology. There are speakers on both ends. Those speakers needed to be replaced. So what we did was we had a guy come in and custom did this whole kind of entertainment unit. It still needs a little work. There's a whole story behind that. He never actually came back and finished it, although we never paid him the second half, so we're a little bit richer for that. But most everything is done, and we've kind of adjusted things here and there. But we have the TV here. If we go out on the water, the TV can actually go down and stow so that it doesn't get damaged. Of course, we have Apple TV and a Blu-ray player. We also have a sound bar and a subwoofer under the couch, so it has really good sound. It's not that big of a space, and you may be looking at it thinking like, oh, that TV is so small, because it is a 40-inch. Because our living room is only 11 feet wide, it doesn't seem that small. It really is just perfect for the space that we have. We also have our control panel here, so that all of the power that comes into the boat, or when we're running the generator, we can control all of the circuits from here. So now let's go back to Colette and take a look at the galley and the dinette.
So as Kevin mentioned, up at the helm, we have a lower helm, or at least we had a lower helm. It was not really functioning. It's also really difficult to see from here. So it really doesn't make sense to have a lower helm on this style boat. Maybe if we were out in open seas and not really near any other obstacles, it would make sense. But for the type of boating we do, and really with the visibility of what we have here, mostly you can't see behind us, so it doesn't make sense to drive from here. So this was the lower helm. It came up to about here, and you could technically drive from here. But what we did was the same cabinet maker that did some work on the back, cut it down, and we turned it into a wine rack here. And this really opened up the spaces. So between the salon and the dining and kitchen area, it feels a little bit more like one cohesive space. Better for entertaining, because people can kind of be in both spaces and not be cut out. So that was a great improvement that we really are thankful that we did. So the galley, it's small, but it's a boat, and we found it to be very functional. We both like to cook, and we can kind of both work in the space. Usually if we're both cooking together, one person will maybe be chopping vegetables over here on the dinette table while someone else is cooking in here. But it functions really well. We have a 3-burner cooktop. We did also add in a dishwasher, because who likes doing dishes? We have plenty of storage space in here, so it was okay for us to lose the storage space that was existing underneath the stovetop here. to have a dishwasher. So we did that. The refrigerator is vintage. It came with the boat. It works really well, knock on wood that it keeps working, because it would be really impossible to get out and replace due to the size of it. We have a microwave convection oven that also is vintage but still works and it's a trusty friend. We did replace the toaster oven just recently and love this new thing, so it works as a convection oven as well. And then, you know, sink, countertop. There is more to come though here. We are thinking of updating a little more in here, so stay tuned about that. This space right here we use as our pantry. Up here we have great storage for cans and jars of things. And then down here, we actually bought this lovely shelf system from the Container Store, and we put tons of things, crackers and, you know, all sorts of pantry items in here. One thing that we discovered after we bought this is we went out on the water and it was a little bit choppy, and this flew open and all of these drawers opened and everything fell out on the floor. That wasn't fun to clean up, but we did find that there are these little clips here that keep the drawers from falling out, so that has helped keep this space safer. We also keep our vacuum cleaner in here. And another thing that we do to keep this from opening up that we think the previous owners did is we put a bungee cord across here, and that helps just keep this a little bit tighter so we don't have an accident again. So this dinette space actually rarely gets used, especially not for its intended purpose of eating. We usually eat in other places of the boat. But this year we have been using it much more as a home office. I was working from home for a while and Kevin's mostly been working from home. So it's worked out great for that purpose. It does turn into a bed as well. So this table pops down and then there's a cushion that goes on top of here. But we have 2 bedrooms, so we hardly ever use it for that function, but it's nice to have. We do have some storage down here. As you can see, our heaters are set up here for the winter. It's a great functional kitchen dining room area. This is our forward stateroom, aka our guest bedroom. It's a pretty small space, but it's nice and cozy. We've had a lot of friends actually come visit us and stay here, even couples cozying up on this bed. We have one friend who comes from Norway and stays here for months at a time, so it's worked out quite well for that. There's another version of this boat that has a larger forward stateroom, but you lose the dinette that we have, so it's a little bit different layout here. We really like this layout because we don't use this bedroom quite that often. For us, it makes more sense to have the extra space out in the entertaining area. We had been living on the boat, I don't know, maybe it was like 4 or 5 months when we discovered the amazing amount of storage underneath this bed. I don't even remember how it came about. I think I was making the bed and realized that it lifted up, and now we have a ton of extra storage, which is fantastic to have here. There's also a bathroom attached to this stateroom, so let's go check that out. And here's the guest bathroom. It's a cozy little space as well, but we do have a shower and obviously toilet and sink. One of the big things that we did in the bathrooms, both bathrooms actually, was to replace the toilets. The toilets that were here weren't functioning that well. They were also a little small, so we wanted to have toilets with a normal size seat so they were comfortable to use. That was a big project that Kevin can tell you all about, but we are very thankful that we took on that project. The next step really for this bathroom is it's a little bland, so we've been starting to add a little color into it. Floor space is really small and awkwardly sized, so we had a hard time finding a rug, but we just found the rug that we thought was perfect for the space, and then we're going to build off of that to add more color and maybe put some pictures on the wall and make the space a little more fun. And now let's go check out the other head and master stateroom.
So this is the aft head. It's pretty similar to what Colette showed you in the front. Shower, which is where Colette's actually standing right now filming me. Toilet and a sink. This toilet we did replace as well. I I also tried to do a little project here. There's a video that you can watch here that we'll link in the description, and it's kind of funny what happened when I tried to paint that. We also did a little bit of make something fancy back there. Tried to make it look a little bit nicer, a little pop of color when we open it up. This is similar to that forward head where we're trying to make this look a little bit less bland, a little bit less beige. So now let's take a look at our bedroom.
And this is our master stateroom, our bedroom. We have a queen size bed, so nice and comfortable. We didn't have to sacrifice that when we moved onto the boat. Tons of storage, lots of hanging storage here under the bed. There's also tons of storage back here. Everywhere you look, we have storage. We also have a non-functional washer dryer that came with the boat. We would love to have a working one. It's a little bit difficult to get that out, just like everything else. We deal with the size of the doors that we have. Maybe one day we'll fix that, but for right now, it just takes up space in our closet. And that's about it for the master stateroom. Now let's go check out the engine room, which is below the salon.
So this is our engine room. We have a 7.5 kilowatt generator. We also have twin Crusader 350 horsepower gasoline engines. Some people ask why this boat of this size doesn't have diesels. This is the way they made them. There was a diesel available as well, but it was significantly more expensive. And I think a lot of people figured the cost savings for the fuel, if you're just doing day trips, that kind of thing, wasn't necessarily worth it. That's kind of the way that we felt when we bought it. We also keep tools down here, spare parts, that kind of thing. I spend a fair amount of time down here. It can be pretty difficult to work on certain things, like changing spark plugs on the sides of the engines, not in the middle. Colette has done some pretty amazing work in crawling into very tight spaces. I'm 6'3", so it's sometimes hard for me to get into spaces. Colette's not exactly short, but she can somehow manage to get herself into spaces. Like when we had a water leak, she had to get in laying on top of one of the engines and get her arm in above one of the fuel tanks to fix this leak. So it could be a little challenging at times, but overall we feel like this engine room has pretty good access for a boat this size. Much better than a lot of other boats we've seen like this. So pretty happy with it overall.
And this is the bow of the boat. People love to hang out here when we're out on the water. You have great views here, great place to soak up the sun. We're out here today and it's actually really nice, even though it's a pretty crisp fall day. So thank you for joining us for our tour of Cygnet.
And if you do like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any more questions about the boat, you can always post questions in the comments. But we also have lots of other videos, and we're going to be continually adding more videos showing different aspects of the boat, how we do certain things. You might have seen today we have lots of cords and heaters around. Well, that's because winter's coming up. So we have videos showing how we get ready for winter. So there's lots more information to see if you subscribe to the channel. So thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.